So, is it easy to find the applications and the functionality that you need in the HTC Desire phone? Well, it's possible, but it's not perfectly intuitive. As an example, let us try to find the music player. From the home screen I press the menu button, because menu usually provides me with an overview of what something has to offer. The menu button here provides me with options that are related to the home screen itself, a shortcut to settings, access to notifications, and a button that takes me to all applications up here. So the menu button is not a link to applications or an overview. It is not a huge problem that the user needs to take a step more than expected, but it's a problem that the user is expecting an overview of functionality and then gets something different. As you can see, the menu button is context sensitive, so whenever the user opens an application, it will offer something different than the last time it was pressed. Here, in the list of applications, it does something else than before. If I go into Gallery, it does something different. If I go into Messages, it has another function. Many other mobile phones have options that change behavior, or buttons that change behavior based on the applications, but here the more intuitive options or more are used, which is simpler and easier to understand, instead of menu, which again makes me think that I will get an overview. And other places with options or more, it does not confuse the user. Once we get into the applications, or by the shortcut here, you'll notice that these are listed alphabetically. I do not consider this to be the optimal way of structuring these applications for a number of reasons. It means that the most needed applications are not located on the first screen here, and therefore scrolling can be necessary. Scrolling is not hard to do. You simply flick the screen. But it doesn't make sense to have a long list of applications where some of the least relevant are located at the first screen. It makes sense to have a phone where you spend as little time as possible navigating the interface, because the applications are placed or located where it's easy to get access to them. As you can see here, if I want to find the music player, I need to go down here. I would actually prefer to have a folder called multimedia with music related stuff in it, rather than having to look in the list to figure out where the music player is, because it's a long list and I only downloaded 2 applications. It's easy to learn, or it seems easy to learn in theory after a few days of use of the phone where the applications are stored. But this is an Android phone where third-party applications can be installed very easily by using Market here. The result of this is a menu that changes every time the user downloads an application, and the user is never completely sure where old or new items are located, unless he knows the menu completely by heart, and therefore knows that the application flush will be just after flashlight or similar. Also, when the user changes the language of the phone, everything is rearranged by the first letter, and in Denmark, where I live, this results in a list of applications where the Danish equivalent for stock options are the easiest to access, which doesn't really make sense, because go into a menu, you have some things you want to reach, you want to find them on the first screen. To me, the user would be better off with a number of folders here with constant location of items in them, or at least the options for creating folders. The user will eventually learn how the menu button behaves, as well as how the applications are structured, but an interface should preferably not force the user to learn anything.